everybody, this is Joff over at 5-Star Guitars, and I'm very excited and honored to announce that 5-Star Guitars is the first and only Northwest dealer for Powers electric guitars. Now, if you're not familiar with Powers Electric, you're in for a treat. This is a new venture from Andy Powers, who's the master builder, CEO, and president of Taylor Guitars. And while he's most known for his innovation to acoustic guitars like the V-Class bracing, he's also, maybe a surprise to you, a ripping electric guitar player, big-time enthusiast, and he's had the opportunity to own and play and repair and modify countless vintage guitars, electrics of all shapes and sizes of the 20th century. And while this has informed his initial design, it's its own thing. We were really excited when we had the opportunity to get into these. We knew that they were going to be cool. We knew Andy, but when we actually had the opportunity to see them in person and play on them and learn more about them, it was an obvious choice for us. We were stoked to bring them to the Northwest, and I'm stoked to show them to you. Let's check them out. So we've known Andy for about 10 years. We've done a lot of business with Taylor, sold a lot of their guitars. We're big fans of it. We know all the guys, and we've been down to the factory a number of times. A couple years ago, Jeep and I were down there and specking out some guitars, talking with Andy. He showed us an electric guitar that he was working on, but he didn't have all the details at that time. And we basically just said, like, this is cool. When you're ready to distribute in the Northwest, let us know. You know, we're in. So earlier this year, we got a call from the Powers Electric team, and they invited us to come down to California, hang out with Andy, and really hear all about it. I mean, from inception, from the original drawings up through production. And while we were there, we were really immersed in Southern California culture. That's where Andy's from, and it definitely informed some of the design choices. You know, there's a rich culture of surfing and skateboarding and music, obviously, but also hot rods, a lot of cool cars. And whether it's the lines of the guitar itself or some of the appointments, it's definitely informed by that and has some of that vibe. So Andy was talking to us about how California is the birthplace of the electric guitar. And post-World War II, you had Paul Bigsby and Les Paul and Leo Fender. They were all living in the LA area, and they were making it up as they went. I mean, inventing the electric guitar as we know it today. But they also didn't have any parts catalogs. I mean, they had to machine, they had to make all of the parts that were happening. Andy took the same concept or the same approach toward this. And while there are, like, as you look at it, you know, it's an offset body, and you might think, well, you know, there's a little bit of a tip of the cap to some of those forebears. It's hardly derivative. I mean, there's a lot of really cool things that are very unique to this. And also all of these parts and much of the design is unique to this. And it's made for a great playing, great looking, great sounding guitar that has a lot of cool Southern California feel. Again, a nod to some heritage, but it's definitely, you know, a new design. Now, all the guitars are made with a solid maple top and a one-piece urban ash body. It's a trussed hollow body with 2 internal sound posts fitted into the braced solid wood top. This allows for the top and back to move in tandem and to maximize resonance, suppress feedback, and create a lyrical sustain. The select models feature figured maple tops, flame, quilt, and bird's eye. There are a lot of color choices, all related back to vintage Porsche and GM colors. So if some of these colors look like they're hot rod paints, they are. Now, there are 2 finish styles available, one featuring solid classic auto-inspired colors and transparent bursts for the figured maple tops. The unique case design combines leather and fabric that's a reproduction of Porsche seat covers. So rather than a military look for the case, it's more like a nice piece of luggage. Let's talk about the tailpiece. There's 2 options. One is the camshaft tailpiece, or CamTail, similar to a Bigsby, but check this out. Each string has a separate ramp that compensates for the string diameter and for the tension, so that as you depress this, it stays more in tune as you go down and come back up. You're able to set 0 point with a set screw on the side. This design is really cool. It reminds me a lot of like a pedal steel guitar. It's kind of genius. The other option is a top-loading hardtail that locks in your sound and makes string changes a snap. Let's talk about the neck. Now this has a really comfortable ergonomic carve to it, and the fretboard has a split radius. And that's different from end-to-end compound radius. It's asymmetrical from the bass side to the treble side. The treble side is slightly flatter so that as you make bends, they'll stay a little more in tune, make it a little bit easier to deal with without them choking out. The fretboard and head cap are made of one piece of Honduran rosewood. Now this is the same material that they make marimba bars out of. It's a super musical tone wood. There are two different pickup options available. An FF42 stands for full Faraday 42 gauge wire. Faraday meaning that this aluminum housing covers the top as well. You'll be able to visually see this on the wall with the turned aluminum top. This tends to be a little, I experienced it as a little warmer, a little less bright. Great sound and single coil pickup. And then the other option would be the PF42. So this is same gauge wire, 42, but partial Faraday. So the top is not covered by the aluminum. It's a little brighter, and I find it also has a little bit more output, a little more punch. All right, so an interesting tie into the surf culture down there. These knobs, both on the trem arm and the knobs themselves, oh, and the pickup selector. These are all made out of surf resin, right? So when they make surfboards, they pour it on there, scrape it off, it lands on the ground, you get different colors that land on top of each other. And it was practice that they would scrape that up and then make like gear shift knobs or whatever in California. So Andy took that idea and started producing these, and they're made at the Taylor factory. We saw the blocks where they put them in. They're available in warm, neutral, and cool, depending on the finish. So this is cool, this is aged Pelham Blue. They feel good, you know, I mean, just the tactile sensation is great. They're also super unique, and it's just one more thing that shows their commitment to creating something that is really unique and new. As I mentioned at the top of this, we're honored to be the first dealer in the Northwest for Powers Electric. It really fits in with our values. You know, we're always trying to bring cool stuff to our friends here in the Northwest and all over the country online. This is something that is new, it's pushing the boundaries. We feel like it's something worthwhile and that's going to find a great home in a lot of people's collections. We'd encourage you to come down, check it out for yourself at 5 Star Guitars or 24/7 at 5starguitars.com.